Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, and that is right, we have an NBA video here on Sports Fan Entertainment. You will be seeing more of these. My schedule is now starting to open up. Let's bring the NBA, let's talk NBA, and we're going to start with my power rankings. I'm going to update these either every week or every other week. Right now I'm planning for every week, but we will see about that. And as we talk about power rankings, we will also talk about news in the NBA. So you're going to see 2 news videos for the NBA per week, one of which will probably include updated power rankings. So, what's the big news in the NBA right now? I think we have to start with the Boston Celtics, who are 11-10 to start the 2018-19 NBA season. They are 13th in my updated power rankings. And look, man, they're just struggling right now with their team chemistry. And I look at 2 people that, to me, you have to point the fingers at, and you have to say, I need more from you 2 players, and that is Jaylen Brown and Gordon Hayward. They are not playing up to their potential at all. Right now, Jaylen Brown is shooting under 40%. Yes, it's 39.8%, but that is under 40% field goal percentage. You need to see more from him. Last year, he shot 46.5%, went from 46.5 to 39.8. That is a horrendous drop. He is struggling having a guy like Kyrie Irving, a very ball-dominant guard, on his team. He's not driving to the rack as much as he used to, with as much veracity as he used to. He's not finishing as accurately as he used to, and his outside shot is also struggling as well. And we know Jaylen Brown isn't a great shooter, but he's always been a capable shooter, at least ever since he's come to the league. We haven't seen that this year. They need to get more out of Jaylen Brown. And Gordon Hayward, obviously, who's coming back from his ankle injury, he is struggling. He's coming back slowly. It appears to be surely, but right now, those 2 are struggling. When they improve, the Celtics will be fine to me. Jason Tatum's still doing his thing. He's not a 20-point-per-game guy yet. A lot of people expected him to explode to that this year. No, he still needs to come along. He still needs some time, but in due time, he will become that guy, probably year 3 or year 4. Kyrie Irving shooting 47% as a ball-dominant point guard. That's very good. So you love what Kyrie Irving's giving you. Al Horford's not getting enough rebounds for my taste, but Marcus Morris is still doing his thing. So I point the fingers at Gordon Hayward and Jaylen Brown. They need to step up. They need to go back to shooting high percentages. They're not even that high. I just want to see at least 43%. I'm telling you, jumping from 40% to 43 or 44% for these 2, that's going to get the Celtics over the edge because they're losing a lot of close games. The defense is still #1 in terms of defensive efficiency, so you love that number, but they just have to get more out of Gordon Hayward and Jaylen Brown. Speaking of historic franchises, the LA Lakers, they are now 11-9 as they lost last night to the Denver Nuggets, 117-85, an ugly loss there. And a lot of people want to discuss, should the Lakers trade for Bradley Beal? Should the Lakers trade for Kemba Walker? Well, right now, I'm not sure if Kemba Walker is on the trading block because this guy is playing out of his mind. He's finally coming into his own, but I caution Laker fans to think about that. Why is Kemba Walker, after 6-7 years, finally coming into his own? Because that's how long it normally takes for these guys. And the Lakers are currently in a situation where they have a young guy in Lonzo Ball, they have another in Kyle Kuzma, and they have my favorite young guy on their team in Brandon Ingram. You look at Kemba Walker and you say, man, he's finally exploding. My question is, that could happen in 3-4 years with Ingram, Kuzma, or Ball. Now, personally, I'm kind of low on Lonzo Ball. I've never been high on him ever since he entered the league because ever since he stepped on the court, man, he just looks like a player that just won't fit in the NBA to me. Not perfectly, at least. He's too gimmicky. Yes, he's able to make these nice passes, but he can't even dominate the ball, right? He can bring the ball up. Then he can, throw a nice alley-oop, can do a nice pass, just pass to someone in terms of rotation and ball movement, but he's not a Steve Nash guy that can really facilitate and run an offense. He's a guy that can dribble up the court and then give it to LeBron, and then maybe go slash or go out to the corner and wait for a corner 3. If he's not open, then pass to the next guy, and he'll make great passes to the next guy, but he's not going to run your offense. Yes, he can rebound, and yes, he can get assists, but he's never going to shoot particularly well. We're seeing that. He's shooting 40%. That's not good. He shot 36% last year. It's just not fitting Lonzo Ball in the NBA. He's just looking like Michael Carter Williams Part 2. I look at Kyle Kuzma, and I like Kyle Kuzma, but I already think he's nearing his cap. I mean, yes, he's 23 years old, but again, he's 23 years old. And you look at a guy like Brandon Ingram, I think right now he's 21, or maybe he just turned 22. I mean, I'm pretty sure he is 21 years old. I'm older than Brandon Ingram, for God's sake. I'm 22 years old, and I still see his length and his athleticism, and he's continuing to grow, and he's shooting well this year. He's just not taking as much shots as Kuzma or LeBron James. To me, you keep Brandon Ingram, but if you can package Kyle Kuzma and Lonzo Ball for a Kemba Walker or Bradley Beal, you make that move. But I still think Brandon Ingram has a high ceiling in the NBA. NBA. With his long frame, he's shooting better, and people don't believe he's putting on weight. Trust me. Go look back at a picture of Brandon Ingram during his rookie year. The kid is putting on weight. It's not a lie. Okay, he's still skinny AF, but he looks better than he did in the past. I still see a lot of growth coming from Brandon Ingram. Right now, he's averaging 15.7 points per game. I think he ends the year at about 17, and playing with LeBron, that's a good number 3. So to me, you trade Kyle Kuzma, you trade Lonzo Ball, you package them for Bradley Beal or Kemba Walker if they'll take it. If they want Brandon Ingram too, I can't do it. I still think he's damn near untradeable. The only package I would take for Brandon Ingram would be a package that includes Anthony Davis. That's the one player I identify, and I'll say, okay, that's a player worth trading Ingram, Kuzma, and Ball for. Bradley Beal, I mean, look at Bradley Beal. It took Bradley Beal 4 years in the NBA until he got going. I think Brandon Ingram in year 3 is better than Bradley Beal was in year 3. So to me, you don't want to trade Ingram and then he pops off for another team and you're like, oh, wait a minute, we could have had that. And you look at Julius Randle. A lot of Lakers fans are missing Julius Randle. Who was better, Julius Randle in his 3rd year or Brandon Ingram in his 3rd year or Kyle Kuzma in his 2nd year? Kuzma and Ingram are better than Randle was in his 3rd year, right? They're going to pop up, but you got to give them time. Or to me, you have to package Kuzma and Ball and then trade him for Bradley Beal or Kemba Walker. But to me, Lonzo Ball, yeah, he ain't it. I'm willing to trade him. Otherwise, I'm willing to stick with the core and see if you can get a nice free agent in the 2019 NBA draft class. And the final team I want to talk about today is the Toronto Raptors. They are #1 in the Eastern Conference, and right now they are #1 in the NBA, sitting at a record of 18-4. And I told you before the year, people, a lot of people were sleeping on the Toronto Raptors. They traded DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. And yes, there was questions as to whether or not Kawhi Leonard was going to be the same Kawhi Leonard of the past. He's pretty damn close, if not all the way there at this point. He still misses the occasional game where they nurse him. No pun intended with Nick Nurse, the head coach there. When they nurse him, yes, they do miss some things there. But look at their depth. They still have depth. Fred VanVleet, he's playing well. Serge Ibaka, he's having one of his best years yet in the NBA. Kyle Lowry's actually having a bit of a resurgence. They're such a balanced team. They're such a deep team. With the Boston Celtics struggling like they are right now, it looks like the Raptors are going to come out of the Eastern Conference. But we still have a long ways to go. When we go to the Eastern Conference Finals between the Raptors and the Celtics, or the Raptors and the 76ers, I may feel differently, or maybe even the Raptors won't even make it. Maybe they're going to get upset by the Milwaukee Bucks. But we have to see when the NBA playoffs come, how do they match up against the Sixers? How do they match up against the Celtics? And I like them because they do have that Finals MVP in Kawhi Leonard. Okay, this is a proven guy that can turn it on in the playoffs and lead your team to the promised land and win it. Okay, so I like the Raptors right now. Do I have them going to the finals? Right now I do. Before this season I had the Celtics. They are struggling a little bit too much to me, but again, I could change. We're still early in the year on that, but I am liking the Celtics right now. So with that said, those are my updated NBA power rankings, and those are my thoughts on the recent news in the NBA. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.